Hey everyone, it is Amy, and I hope everybody is having a fantastic end of the summer. I know that school is getting ready to start back, and I know that transition isn't always easy, that sometimes kids don't want to go back to school, or at least I didn't, but that's just because I didn't like school in general until I hit college. Then it became a whole new ball game. What is going on here in our office? So we've been working a lot on the 2013 fall designs, continually adding more of a fashion sense to the product line, and we'll be offering boy shorts, like some redesigns of some of our past boy shorts, as well as tank tops to go with them, and some distressed shirts, and some just great redesigns and new designs. So I'm really excited. So if you want to get a sneak peek, go to our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter. Both of those are Rockscar Love Designs. Actually, Twitter's just Rockscar Love. We're also expanding our social media services to other female product lines. So that's been a lot of fun too, because it helps to get out our message, and all the products that we're working with really love the message that Rockscar Love offers. So wanted to share a story with you guys. So the other day I went to the grocery store, Ingles, and this little small chain by my house, and I am my mother's child. My mother has always been known to just have a conversation with a complete stranger, which I will do that too. And I started a conversation with the guy behind me, which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen my picture of Jeff Foxworthy, that's actually how I met him, as I started a conversation with him like he was a complete stranger, which I totally knew who it was. But this guy that was behind me, we started talking about Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Don't ask me why. I think there was some kind of deal, 10 packages of 4 cups for $10, which was very painful not to invest in that for myself. But the guy and I ended up going and having getting a cup of coffee together, and he ended up being a well-known writer for political satire, as well as a finance writer. And when he and I were talking, and I was telling my story, he asked me an interesting question. He asked me, actually, was my liver, or was it my donor's liver? And I told him it was my liver, and he asked me why, and I told him because, without embracing it fully as my liver, that it would always be hung over my head that somebody passed away. And while I was aware of that and I was sensitive to that, at the end of the day, it was my liver now. And to not live in a place of survivor's guilt, I had to accept it as my own. And that took a really long time to get there. And, for so many years, I let survivor's guilt kind of control my emotional happiness or my emotional well-being when it came to being a transplant patient, and it took a lot of work to get past that. So it just made me start thinking about how we all live with some kind of guilt in us. Sometimes it's guilt for our actions in the past, sometimes it's survivor's guilt, sometimes it's guilt for not measuring up and being what we want to, or being what we think that we should have been. And when we label ourselves as a certain way because of that guilt. Like for me, another example is, I have had a hard time with the whole infertility thing of labeling myself as less than a normal woman because of the fact I can't have a child. And that's my own guilt of my body failing me, when at the end of the day, I'm just as much of a woman as another woman, and it took a while to accept it. So I think sometimes when we allow our guilt to label us, that we live in a place that's less than what we are capable of being, and it doesn't show the true reflection of the beauty inside that we have to offer. And it's so common to happen to live in guilt, and when you live in guilt, you don't live in a place of freedom. You live in a place of bondage. And so I wanted to share that with you guys, and I don't think any of us ever, I don't think I'll ever live 100% guilt-free about everything in my life, and I don't think anybody ever does. But the more and more we can get to the point where we can accept our past, and we can forgive ourselves for the mistakes we have made. But then look at the situations where we haven't made mistakes and yet we still feel guilt. And allow mourning for whatever that loss is. And recognize the reality for what it is. And when it is a cancer survivor, or it's, a war veteran, or it's a transplant patient, or an infertility patient, those are just the realities of life. You don't do anything to really cause that. And so you have to forgive yourself for that. So with that, I want to say have a great night, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week, and behave yourself, guys. Later.